Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel, and this is going to be a movie review for Ishana Shyamalan's The Watchers, or The Washed if you are in the UK or Ireland. Now, as the surname suggests, this is a Shyamalan directed and written movie, but not by M. Night, by his daughter Ishana, with M. Night Shyamalan producing this, but we also have Ishana writing this, which is cool. This is her first feature film for her directorial debut. She has supposedly directed 6 episodes of a series called Servant, and she also acted as a second unit director on her old man's movie Old. Yes, which is funny because the cinema that I saw this in, they showed the preview for Trap, which her old man directed. Now, I got to see this in a cinema called The Lounge at my local cinemas, my local Hoyt cinemas. This is usually reserved for little small run horror films. So the last time I was in there was for Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. This is the video I took of when I walked in. No one was in there, and no one was in there until the end, and I'll explain after the video.
Dead set. This is it. They're like little couches. I actually prefer this. There's my seat here, so I can be a weirdo and sit up the back.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together.
Pretty cozy, right? Within the last 10 minutes of the film, 2 old ladies just stroll in, sit down, watch the last 10 minutes, and then fuck right off. As you do. Now, also a massive congrats to my good buddy Sean Chandler for interviewing Ishana Shyamalan. The interview was great. He asked some crackerjack questions, and I know Sean's been wanting to do this for quite some time. So congrats on that one, man. That is awesome. Now, this is actually based on the book by the same name by A.M. Shine. Now, the basic premise for The Watchers or The Watched, we have a 28-year-old artist named Mina, played by Dakota Fanning, who gets stranded in an expansive, untouched forest in Western Ireland. Finding shelter, she unknowingly becomes trapped alongside 3 strangers who are stalked by mysterious creatures each and every night. Now, first and foremost, this is a beautiful looking film that showcases just how rich and amazing Ireland is, and makes me want to go explore Ireland. What I love is the way the forest is photographed. It is so wide and it just seems like it stretches forever, but at the same time you have this sense of claustrophobia and that the forest is indeed closing in on you. So we have Dakota Fanning, who plays Mina, and she's trapped in this forest as she's taking a small conure from one city to another in Ireland. She gets trapped in the forest. She meets 3 other people who have been trapped there for quite some time, and then the goings on are quite intriguing. And what I love within the first act, when Mina is thrusted into this situation, there is no fuck around factor. She is thrown straight in the deep end with these other cast of characters, 3 other characters. We've got Olin Foray, who plays Madeline. We've got Georgina Campbell, who played Ciara, and we've got Oliver Finnegan, who plays Daniel, who have been trapped in there for quite some time. And again, there's no real slow burn or explanation for anything. Things just start happening, and that's what I loved and really appreciated with this, was the pacing of the first and the second act. There's no fuck around factor, no slow burn, no over exaggerating anything. We just get straight to it, and I absolutely loved it. It was a breath of fresh air. However, this film unfortunately falls very flat and loses sight of what it sets up in the third act and the payoff at the end. There are some beautiful and intriguing elements in the first and second act, things that I wanted to know more about and things I didn't need to know more about because of that mystery, and less is more. When you see where they're hiding in the forest and the reason why they're hiding and what they have to do when they are hiding, I love. But seeing how the Watchers operate in the forest and what they do and how they operate around the human characters is quite intriguing. This is definitely one of those new grim fairy tales. In terms of seeing too much of them, there are certain shots where I'm like, that is beautiful, I don't need to see any more. It's a lot of silhouettes hidden in shadow. I think that's great, especially when it comes to their nightmarish creature designs. But in the third act, there are a few shots where they just revealed way too much, and it kind of lost me and pulled me out of it. Again, I'm one of those people where less is more. I want my imagination to fill in the blanks, because to me, that's always going to be the worst look. My imagination just goes to the worst possible design for a creature in terms of being horrific. When it comes to the character of Mina, there definitely is that trope of underlying childhood trauma that she carries into her adulthood, and the Watchers then try and use that against her, as well as our 3 other cast of characters. And that's all I'll say about that, because I don't want to obviously give away too much, but there is a certain bit of writing that I thought was just very lazy and very slapdash. Again, I don't know if this is in the book, but towards the end, there is just something so convenient that happens that, quite frankly, should have been what's the word? That should have been tended to a long time ago. Some of these people have been trapped here for a very long time, and I figured that would be the first port of call or the first order of business, and yet it just pops up and it's so convenient. And the exchange between two of the characters is, did you know this was there? No, I did not. Okay. Moving on. Now, being a Shyamalan movie, even though this is daughter of M. Night Shyamalan, is the payoff and the twist at the end good? In my opinion, the idea is there. It tries its best, but I just feel like it slipped through her fingers and didn't quite hit the mark. Again, there are some intriguing and beautiful ideas and concepts and visuals in the first and second act, but then it just seems to get muddled and convoluted, where we see at certain points in the final act of the film that it's okay to break certain rules that you've established in the first and second act. But I got too many answers to questions that, quite frankly, I didn't need to know about or need closure on, because I like that mystery. I like certain things to be shrouded in mystery. Granted, there were some things where I needed to have make sense to me and they were explained. I thought, okay, great. But then other things, I'm like, just stop. Shh, shut the fuck up. And just when you think the film is going to end and you're getting ready to get up, it just keeps going and you're like, oh. I will say though, the very last shot of the film, good. I liked it. Well done. Clever. So guys, in the end, The Watchers or The Watched, it has a lot of good going for it. It's the epitome of getting like a participation ribbon or you tried your absolute best, but this could be improved upon. And it usually is a common trope when it comes to the surname Shyamalan. It's the payoff that always is the problem. He's definitely had his hits and misses, but now we have his daughter. And I think there is a lot of potential for her as a filmmaker. The film is beautiful to look at. The sound design is incredible, especially when it comes to the sound design of The Watchers. I love the concepts and the designs of The Watchers. There is so much good going for this, but that payoff, it just doesn't properly wrap everything up in that nice little grim fairy tale bow for me. However, I want to see more from Ishana Shyamalan and her old man. I would love them to get together and write something original that isn't based on a pre-existing IP or a novel, because she definitely has the chops for it. I just think story-wise, pacing-wise, things definitely need to be tightened and not so much overcomplicated. In terms of whether to check this out at the cinema, guys, it's a hard one. I'm 50-50 on it. I could definitely have waited for it to come out on streaming, but for the visuals and the sound design alone and the interesting concepts in the first and second act, you know, matinee price. And with that, I'm going to be giving The Watchers 3 Conyers out of 5. So here's what I want to know. People that have read the book, how does this film fare compared to the book itself? Were there things that they left out that definitely could have helped with the payoff at the end? Love you guts, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.